Pitch black. Completely dark, without any light, so dark that one cannot see anything at all. Used to describe a situation or environment that is extremely dark or lacking in illumination. Without streetlights, the neighborhood was pitch black after sunset, creating a sense of unease. The alley was pitch black, making it difficult to navigate without a flashlight. The forest at night was pitch black, with only the faint glow of the moon to guide our way. When the power went out, the room was pitch black, and I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. The cave was pitch black, and I had to rely on my other senses to navigate its winding passages. Darker side of things. The negative or unpleasant aspects of a situation, event, or topic. The hidden or sinister aspects that are not immediately apparent. Refers to the less favorable or morally questionable aspects of human behavior or society. Despite its picturesque appearance, the quaint town had a darker side of things, with rumors of corruption and scandal lurking beneath the surface. Behind his charming facade, there's a darker side of things that he tries to keep hidden from others. She was drawn to the mysterious allure of the city's nightlife, but soon discovered the darker side of things, including crime and addiction. The novel delves into the darker side of human nature, exploring themes of greed, betrayal, and moral ambiguity. The documentary explores the darker side of things, shedding light on the social issues and injustices faced by marginalized communities. Rub someone the wrong way. To irritate or annoy someone. To cause someone to feel uncomfortable or offended. To evoke a negative reaction or response from someone due to one's behavior or actions. The politician's evasive answers during the interview rubbed the journalist the wrong way, leading to more probing questions. Despite his good intentions, his overbearing nature tends to rub people the wrong way. Her constant interruptions during meetings tend to rub her colleagues the wrong way. The comedian's jokes about sensitive topics rub many audience members the wrong way. His arrogant attitude always rubs me the wrong way, making it challenging to work with him. Not one's cup of tea. Something that one does not enjoy or prefer. Something that does not appeal to one's tastes or interests. Used to politely express dislike or lack of enthusiasm for something without being overtly critical. Classical music isn't his cup of tea. He prefers listening to rock or hip-hop. Going to crowded parties isn't her cup of tea. She prefers quiet gatherings with close friends. Sushi is not everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoy trying new and exotic foods. Playing video games is not everyone's cup of tea. Some people prefer outdoor activities or reading. Horror movies are not really my cup of tea. I prefer comedies or dramas. Leave a bad taste in one's mouth. To cause someone to feel displeasure, disappointment, or discomfort, often due to an unpleasant experience or interaction. To create a lingering sense of dissatisfaction or unease in one's mind or memory. The company's unethical practices left a bad taste in the mouths of its customers, leading many to switch to competitors. The restaurant's poor service and mediocre food left a bad taste in our mouths, and we decided not to return. The disappointing ending of the movie left a bad taste in my mouth. I had expected more from the storyline. His rude remarks during the meeting left a bad taste in everyone's mouths, souring the atmosphere. The politician's empty promises left a bad taste in voters' mouths, eroding trust in their leadership. Have a bone to pick with someone. To have a grievance or unresolved issue with someone. To have a complaint or criticism to express. To feel discontented or aggrieved about something someone has done or said, and to want to discuss it with them. The customer had a bone to pick with the restaurant manager about the poor quality of service. The teacher had a bone to pick with the students who were consistently disrupting class with their behavior. He has a bone to pick with the city council about the lack of street lighting in his neighborhood. I have a bone to pick with my neighbor about their noisy parties late at night. She has a bone to pick with her coworker about taking credit for her ideas. Not one's thing. Something that does not appeal to or interest someone. Something that one does not enjoy or engage in. Used to indicate that something is not aligned with one's preferences, tastes, or habits. Playing team sports is not his thing. He prefers solitary activities like painting or writing. Trying exotic foods is not everyone's thing, but I enjoy exploring different cuisines and flavors. Horror movies are not her thing. She gets too scared and prefers watching romantic comedies instead. Partying late into the night is not his thing. He'd rather stay home and relax with a good book. Going to loud concerts is not really my thing. I prefer quieter activities like hiking or reading. Take a dislike to someone or something. To develop a negative feeling or aversion towards someone or something. To begin to dislike or disapprove of them. To feel an instinctive or immediate antipathy or resentment towards someone or something. She took a dislike to the taste of cilantro and avoided dishes that contained it. He took a dislike to the idea of moving to a new city and leaving behind his friends and familiar surroundings. The teacher took a dislike to the student who constantly disrupted the class with their disruptive behavior. The cat took a dislike to the new dog in the house and avoided it whenever possible. I took a dislike to my new coworker after our first meeting. There was something about her attitude that rubbed me the wrong way. Turn one's nose up at something. To express disdain or contempt for something. To reject or refuse something with an air of superiority. To react with haughty disapproval or disdain towards something considered inferior or undesirable. The snobbish socialite turned her nose up at the thought of attending the charity event, considering it beneath her. Despite the bargain price, she turned her nose up at the thrift store selection, preferring brand-name clothing. He turned his nose up at the job offer, considering the salary too low and the work too menial. The picky eater turned his nose up at the unfamiliar dish, refusing to try even a small bite. She turned her nose up at the suggestion of eating fast food, insisting on dining at upscale restaurants. Have a down on someone or something. To harbor a strong feeling of dislike, disapproval, or hostility towards someone or something. To have a negative bias or prejudice against someone or something, leading to negative attitudes or behavior. She has a down on fast food chains and prefers to support locally owned restaurants. Ever since their disagreement, she's had a down on her coworker and refuses to work with her. The coach seems to have a down on certain players, often benching them during important games. He has a down on authority figures and often clashes with his supervisors. The company seems to have a down on employees who take extended breaks, closely monitoring their activities. Can't stand someone or something. To have an intense dislike or aversion towards someone or something. To find someone or something extremely unpleasant or irritating. To be unable to tolerate or endure someone or something due to strong feelings of dislike or annoyance. They can't stand each other's company and avoid being in the same room whenever possible. He can't stand his neighbor's constant loud music and has complained to the building management multiple times. I can't stand the taste of licorice. It's too strong and bitter for my liking. I can't stand people who chew with their mouths open. It's so rude and disgusting. She can't stand the sight of spiders and always asks someone else to remove them from the house. Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. A humorous or colloquial way for a doctor to advise a patient to take a simple remedy, such as aspirin, for minor ailments and to follow up if the condition persists or worsens. A figurative expression used to dismiss someone's concerns as trivial or to suggest a simple solution to a problem. Sarah was feeling under the weather, and her friend jokingly said, "Maybe you need to take 2 aspirin and call the doctor in the morning." After hearing about his colleagues' complaints about the office printer, John jokingly suggested, "Take 2 aspirin and call IT in the morning." When her son complained of a minor cut, Mary reassured him, "It's nothing serious. Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning if it still hurts." You have a mild headache? Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning if it doesn't go away. When complaining about his friend's persistent jokes, Jack's father told him, "Just ignore it. Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning." An apple a day keeps the doctor away. A proverbial expression suggesting that maintaining a healthy diet and lifestyle can prevent the need for medical intervention or visits to the doctor. Encouragement to prioritize health and wellness practices to avoid illness or disease. When asked about her secret to good health, the elderly woman smiled and said, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." Knowing the importance of a balanced diet, the school promotes healthy eating habits among students, with posters declaring, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." As part of her health regimen, Jane makes sure to have an apple every morning, believing in the adage, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." I believe in the saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away," so I make sure to eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. The nutritionist advised her clients to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into their diets, reminding them, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." A pill pusher. Slang term for a doctor who is perceived to overprescribe medication, often without considering alternative treatments or addressing underlying health issues. A derogatory term used to criticize doctors who prioritize pharmaceutical solutions over holistic or preventive approaches to healthcare. I used to see Dr. Smith, but I felt like he was just a pill pusher, always prescribing medication without listening to my concerns. When discussing healthcare options, the patient expressed a desire to find a doctor who values holistic healing and is not simply a pill pusher. Concerned about the growing opioid epidemic, some patients are wary of doctors they perceive as pill pushers, preferring providers who prioritize non-pharmaceutical treatments. The patient felt uncomfortable with the new doctor's approach, describing him as a pill pusher who immediately recommended medication for every ailment. The patient sought out a new doctor after feeling dissatisfied with her previous provider, whom she described as a pill pusher who relied too heavily on medication. A stitch in time saves 9. A proverbial expression emphasizing the importance of taking prompt action to address problems or issues before they escalate and require more extensive intervention. Encouragement to tackle problems early to prevent them from becoming larger or more difficult to resolve in the future. The mechanic advised his clients to address minor car issues promptly, explaining, "A stitch in time saves 9. Ignoring small problems can lead to costly repairs later on." The homeowner followed the adage, "A stitch in time saves 9, by fixing a cracked window before it could lead to more significant damage during a storm. Recognizing the value of preventive health care, the doctor reminded her patients, "A stitch in time saves 9. Regular checkups can catch health issues early and prevent complications." The teacher reminded her students of the importance of studying regularly, saying, "A stitch in time saves 9. Don't wait until the last minute to prepare for exams." I noticed a small leak in the roof and decided to repair it right away. A stitch in time saves nine, after all. Better safe than sorry. A proverbial expression advocating for caution and prudence, suggesting that it is preferable to take preventive measures or precautions to avoid potential problems or regrets. Encouragement to prioritize safety and risk mitigation rather than taking unnecessary chances or risks that could lead to negative consequences. The doctor advised his patients to get regular screenings for early detection of health issues. Reasoning, better safe than sorry. It's better to catch problems early. I know it might seem excessive, but I always wear a helmet when riding my bike. Better safe than sorry. When packing for the camping trip, Sarah decided to bring extra food and supplies, thinking, better safe than sorry. Despite the inconvenience, the airline canceled flights due to inclement weather, adhering to the principle of better safe than sorry. The company implemented stringent safety protocols to protect its employees, following the principle of better safe than sorry. Bite the bullet. To endure a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage and resilience. To face adversity or hardship head-on. To accept or confront a challenging circumstance or decision, often reluctantly, but with a determination to persevere. Despite her fear of needles, she decided to bite the bullet and get the injection to protect her health. Faced with a difficult decision, the politician knew she had to bite the bullet and make the unpopular choice for the greater good. After months of deliberation, she finally decided to bite the bullet and confront her fear of public speaking by giving a presentation. The soldier knew he would have to bite the bullet and undergo surgery to remove the shrapnel from his leg. Recognizing the need for budget cuts, the company's CEO prepared to bite the bullet and announce layoffs to employees. Practice medicine. To engage in the diagnosis, treatment, and care of patients as a licensed medical professional, such as a doctor or physician. To apply medical knowledge and skills to provide healthcare services, including prescribing medication, performing surgeries, and managing patient care. After completing medical school and residency, she was eager to practice medicine and make a positive impact on patients' lives. The hospital implemented telemedicine services to allow doctors to practice medicine remotely and provide care to patients in rural areas. The young doctor was excited to start practicing medicine in underserved communities, where access to healthcare was limited. He decided to pursue a career in nursing to practice medicine and help improve the health outcomes of diverse patient populations. Despite the challenges of the pandemic, healthcare workers continued to practice medicine and provide essential services to patients. Play doctor. To pretend to be a doctor, often in childhood play or as a form of role-playing. To engage in amateur or unauthorized medical treatment or diagnosis without proper training or qualifications. The patient's family members meant well, but were criticized for trying to play doctor and administer medication without consulting a healthcare professional. When we were kids, we used to play doctor and pretend to give each other checkups with toy stethoscopes. Concerned about her symptoms, she searched online for medical information but avoided trying to play doctor and self-diagnose her condition. The television show featured a character who liked to play doctor and offer medical advice to friends, often with humorous results. Some people turn to alternative medicine practitioners who claim to have healing powers but are essentially playing doctor without proper medical training. Give someone a clean bill of health. To declare that someone is in good health, free from illness, disease, or medical concerns, based on a thorough examination or evaluation. To provide assurance or confirmation that someone's health is satisfactory and that there are no significant medical issues to be concerned about. The athlete underwent a medical evaluation before the competition, and the doctor gave him a clean bill of health, confirming his fitness to participate. Despite her initial concerns, the test results came back normal, and the doctor gave her a clean bill of health, alleviating her anxieties. The routine checkup ended with the doctor giving the elderly patient a clean bill of health, much to the relief of her family. After conducting a series of tests, the doctor gave her a clean bill of health and reassured her that her symptoms were not serious. The annual physical exam provided peace of mind as the doctor gave him a clean bill of health, praising his healthy lifestyle choices. Cut one's losses. To stop investing in a failing project or venture to avoid further losses. To abandon an unprofitable endeavor. To minimize financial damage by ending involvement in a situation that is unlikely to improve. After months of declining sales, the company decided to cut its losses and close down the unprofitable division. Instead of pouring more money into the failing startup, the investors decided to cut their losses and sell their shares. The homeowner, faced with extensive repair costs, decided to cut his losses and sell the property as is. Recognizing the declining market for their product, the entrepreneurs chose to cut their losses and pivot to a new business model. Despite their initial investment, the couple realized the renovation project was too costly to complete and chose to cut their losses by selling the property. The bottom line. The final result or outcome. The net profit or loss after all expenses, revenues, and other factors have been considered. The fundamental or most important aspect of a situation, especially in terms of financial impact or consequences. The CEO emphasized the importance of cost-cutting measures to improve the company's bottom line. When negotiating a contract, it's essential to consider the bottom line and ensure that the terms are favorable for all parties involved. Despite the impressive revenue figures, the company's bottom line was negatively impacted by rising expenses. We need to increase our efficiency to improve the bottom line and remain competitive in the market. The charity's success is measured not just by fundraising totals, but also by the positive impact it has on communities, the real bottom line. Rob Peter to pay Paul. To take money or resources from one source or budget to meet a pressing financial need in another area, often resulting in a cycle of borrowing or indebtedness. To solve one problem or obligation by creating another, often by shifting resources or funds from one priority to another. Facing a cash flow shortage, the small business owner resorted to robbing Peter to pay Paul by delaying vendor payments to cover payroll expenses. To cover unexpected medical expenses, she had to rob Peter to pay Paul by dipping into her savings earmarked for a future vacation. The government's decision to rob Peter to pay Paul by reallocating funds from education to healthcare has sparked controversy. Borrowing money from one credit card to pay off another is a classic example of robbing Peter to pay Paul and can lead to a cycle of debt. The company's practice of robbing Peter to pay Paul by borrowing from its reserves to cover operating costs eventually led to financial instability. A penny saved is a penny earned. A proverbial expression emphasizing the value of frugality and saving money. Money saved is equivalent to money earned through income or wages. Encouragement to practice thriftiness and financial discipline by prioritizing saving and prudent spending. The financial advisor stressed the importance of cutting back on discretionary spending, reminding her clients that a penny saved is a penny earned. The grandmother imparted her wisdom to her grandchildren, teaching them that a penny saved is a penny earned and encouraging them to save their allowance. Despite the temptation to splurge on luxury items, she adhered to the principle that a penny saved is a penny earned and prioritized building her savings. I've learned to budget carefully and avoid unnecessary expenses. After all, a penny saved is a penny earned. By diligently clipping coupons and hunting for bargains, She practiced the philosophy that a penny saved is a penny earned and stretched her budget further. Pass the buck. To shift responsibility or blame to someone else. To avoid taking accountability for a decision or action by passing it on to another person. To transfer a problem or task to someone else, especially when one is unwilling or unable to address it oneself. Instead of addressing the customer's complaint directly, the salesperson passed the buck to the manufacturer, claiming the issue was beyond their control. Faced with criticism over budget cuts, the government official attempted to pass the buck by blaming previous administrations for fiscal mismanagement. In dysfunctional organizations, employees often engage in a game of passing the buck, unwilling to take ownership of problems or find solutions. The politicians sought to pass the buck on the controversial policy decision, deflecting criticism by pointing fingers at opposing parties. The manager tried to pass the buck to his subordinates when the project failed, refusing to take responsibility for his poor leadership. Rake in the dough. To earn or acquire a large amount of money, especially quickly or easily. To make a significant profit or financial gain, often through successful business ventures or investments. After launching the new product, the company started to rake in the dough, with sales exceeding expectations. With the success of her best-selling novel, the author began to rake in the dough, signing lucrative book deals and movie adaptations. The real estate mogul continued to rake in the dough, buying and selling properties in lucrative markets. The musician's hit song allowed him to rake in the dough through royalties and concert ticket sales. The entrepreneur's app became wildly popular, allowing him to rake in the dough and become a millionaire within a year. Cost an arm and a leg. To be extremely expensive. To require a significant amount of money to purchase or obtain. Used to emphasize the high price or exorbitant cost of something. The wedding venue had stunning views and impeccable service, but it would cost the couple an arm and a leg to book it for their special day. The luxury car dealership advertised its newest model, boasting top-of-the-line features that would cost customers an arm and a leg. The custom-built house was spacious and luxurious, but it would cost the buyer an arm and a leg to purchase in the upscale neighborhood. The designer handbag may be stylish, but it costs an arm and a leg. I can't justify spending that much on it. The antique clock was a beautiful piece, but it cost an arm and a leg to restore it to its former glory. Put all one's eggs in one basket. To invest all of one's resources, efforts, or hopes into a single venture, opportunity, or outcome, with the risk of losing everything if it fails. To concentrate or focus exclusively on a single strategy or course of action, disregarding diversification or risk management. The company's decision to put all its eggs in one basket by relying solely on one supplier backfired when the supplier went out of business. He decided to put all his eggs in one basket and invest his life savings in the startup, hoping for a big return. Instead of putting all her eggs in one basket by focusing solely on her acting career, she pursued other interests to ensure financial stability. The gambler put all his eggs in one basket, betting everything on a single horse race, with the potential for a huge payout. The investor cautioned against putting all one's eggs in one basket, advising diversification to mitigate risk in the volatile market. Belt tightening. A reduction in spending or expenses, measures taken to cut costs and live within one's means, especially during difficult economic times. The practice of exercising frugality or austerity to manage finances more efficiently and weather financial challenges. During the recession, many families had to resort to belt tightening to make ends meet. The government announced belt tightening measures to address the budget deficit, including reducing public services and raising taxes. The college student adopted belt-tightening habits, such as cooking meals at home and using public transportation, to manage her limited budget. After losing her job, she had to practice belt-tightening, eliminating non-essential expenses and finding ways to save money. The company implemented belt-tightening measures, including layoffs and budget cuts, to stay afloat amidst declining revenue. Hit the books. To study or engage in academic work diligently or intensively, often with the goal of preparing for an exam or completing coursework. To focus on learning and academic pursuits, typically by spending time reading textbooks or other educational materials. With the college entrance exam approaching, she spent every spare moment hitting the books. Instead of going out with friends, she stayed home to hit the books and review the material for the upcoming test. The students knew they had to hit the books over the weekend to finish their research papers on time. I need to hit the books if I want to pass my final exams next week. He had been procrastinating all semester, but finally decided to hit the books and catch up on his reading assignments. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.